Okay. Malcolm, great. Kick us off.
I was listening to your short dialogue with Patty a few days ago, actually, about the I. It was a great question, Patty. I don't know whether you remember. It was a great dialogue. And at the end, Patty said, I don't want to use the I, because you were talking about inquiring.
Mm.
I don't want to use the I to look. And you didn't really pick up on it. But my understanding, Terry, is that that's absolutely fine because there isn't an I.
That's right. But I still say I.
Oh no, yeah, I get that. But I think it's the Tony Parsons group, the sort of the know that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, my understanding, but correct me if I'm wrong, is that the observer is empty anyway.
Yeah.
And when emptiness sees emptiness.
That's yep. Yeah.
Is that clear?
That's crystal clear here.
Okay.
That's crystal clear. I can't remember the exact dialogue that you're referring to, but
Yeah.
yeah.
On about 16 minutes on YouTube.
Right.
Really, really, I recommend it.
Okay.
Do you remember it, Patty?
I'll go have a look.
Got it last week.
No, and I'm the one who's editing the videos, and I so I'll have to take a look at it also.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Hey, Terry.
Yes.
Can I give a little update?
Sure.
So, like everything's been great, but there's one little thing I just want to just mention it. It's completely seen. There's nothing here. I'm not here. Like it's completely seen through. But now fear arises for the first time, like completely, like because I'm not here. It's kind of scary sometimes. I don't know. Just wanted to get that off.
Good. So what's aware of that? What's aware of that seeming fear and I'm not here?
There's nothing to say. It's just
There's something here.
yeah.
Saying, I'm not here.
Yeah.
You know, Tubby, where we eventually find ourselves is so familiar. This fear that can sometimes arise in us comes about from seeing the truth. Holy shit, there's no one here. When you really see it, there's no person here as such. And we begin to, it really begins to register. And it can, for a moment, and it's just for a moment, Subby, it can, for some, induce a little bit of fear, a little bit of apprehension. All I can do, my friend, is just say, just go through that. Just go through that. It's okay. There's a few things can arise from it. Who am I? Or who will I be? How will I function? How, that sort of thing can arise. All that happens, seriously, all that happens is there's an awakening to a dream. And that awakens that experiencing of awakening is you. So what you think you may be losing, who will I be? That's just mind. That's just the seeming personal me raising that fear. Just the mind raising that fear. Yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Because it's really funny at times too. So that's like, I burst out laughing. So like, and it's been completely quiet for me. And I don't see, like, before my mind would make, like, you know, like linear time. It'll be so, like, 30 minutes ago this happened. It was like OCD-ish. Now it's just always just this. Like just this. Like,
yeah.
There's just no words to.
Yeah. What's the mechanism that occurs whereby mind kicks in and we're living in that dream world? What happens for that to happen?
I don't know. What happens for the story to come?
Yeah.
Like a sensed energy that's right here.
When you put your head down on the pillow at night,
Mm-hmm.
before you close your eyes. So your head's on the pillow, your eyes are open. Are you conscious of your immediate environment?
Yeah.
Good. Then you close your eyes. What happens?
Still conscious, but just the view's gone.
And then what happens?
Sleep.
Who goes to sleep?
The mind.
Really? The mind goes to sleep.
No, because dreaming still happens. Oh, just like the consciousness, like being aware of stuff.
So what happens to consciousness?
I don't know. Like something's still there.
You've been putting your head on your pillow every night for the last how many years?
32.
32 years. That's a lot of nights. And you don't know? It's all right. I didn't know either. But it's amazing. So normally we put our head down on the pillow. Yeah. And we close our eyes. And if I was asking you to describe what happens ordinarily, we would say, me, Terry, started to fall asleep. That would be the normal response to that question. What happens? Oh, well, I fall asleep. Can the I fall asleep? As in the me.
Oh, the me?
Yeah. Can it fall asleep?
Oh no, I can't fall asleep.
We wish it could.
Yeah.
So what happens? Is it not, in your own experience, that you gradually become, oh, look at the color of the top she's got on. Ursula, you got the memo. That's hilarious. Is the experience not, when you close your eyes, that you become less and less and less and less and less and less conscious of your immediate environment.
Yeah, we're drifting off.
What's happening there?
It's like just consciousness is like turning off slowly, or I don't know.
There's a mechanism that occurs, is there not? Like when you put your head on the pillow and close your eyes, do you then think to yourself, okay, cool, eyes are closed, now next step, become less conscious of my immediate environment, and you then make that happen? Is that what happens? No. So we put our head down on the pillow, and the experience is, consciousness seems to go into abeyance. Yeah. And in that, we become less conscious of the fact that your body's laying on the bed, your head's on the pillow, you're in a room. All of that reality disappears, does it not?
Yeah.
No longer conscious of your immediate environment. Yeah. Then what happens?
Dreaming sometimes.
Yeah. And the dream starts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Could that dream start if you were wide awake?
No. Well, it's kind of running right now. The daydream, I see it as. I don't know.
Sure, but let's just stick with
The night.
for the moment, the sleeping dream. Could that sleeping dream start if you're fully awake, fully conscious?
No.
So what does it take for the sleeping dream to start?
Be unconscious.
Yeah, but not fully.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at that. Is it the dream character in the dream that's conscious of the dream?
No.
Okay. So there is, even though we've become unconscious of our immediate environment, so it's if you take the awake state to be in a vertical position, and we're awake, head on the pillow, close your eyes, and the process is we gradually, and it just happens. Me's got nothing to do with this process. You understand?
Yeah.
Head on the pillow, and consciousness begins to fade. It'll fade, it'll fade. It gets a certain point. And at that point, totally unconscious of the immediate environment, the fact that your body's lying on a bed and and that you're in a room, and the dream starts. And what arises in the dream is a seeming personal me character in that dream. Yeah. Arises in the dream. And so too does the rest of the content of the dream. The whole thing, dreaming starts. And it seems like that there's a personal me in the dream. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. But can that personal me that's arising in the dream experience anything?
No.
So what's experiencing the dream?
Just consciousness or whatever's here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
What experiences the waking state before you go to sleep?
It's consciousness.
Yeah. Is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Put our head down on the pillow, gradually go to sleep. But consciousness becomes unconscious of the immediate environment, and a dream kicks in. Yeah. A dream will happen, whatever. Whatever happens in there. It's pretty random. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then consciousness sinks further and the dream disappears. That would ordinarily be considered deep sleep. Yeah. No dreaming, kind of not conscious of anything, just still.
Yeah.
And consciousness starts to stir again. You understand? This is not you. You're not doing any of this.
Mhm.
Consciousness starts to stir again. Oh, and another dream starts. And consciousness can drop back and the dream disappears. This can happen several times throughout the night. Yeah. And consciousness starts to stir again. The dream comes up. Yeah. Instead of receding back, it starts to go this way again. So there's a point that can sometimes be experienced between the dream. This is the dream, yeah, and this is the awake state here. Sometimes there's a point between both those, between the dream and the waking state, where there is an awareness that you're dreaming and you're nearly about to wake up. So you're kind of right in the middle of both those points. Then consciousness goes, zip. That point, the eyes open, the dream, the sleeping dream disappears completely. Yeah, might be a little bit of a memory of it, but at that point you're fully aware that what was just seemingly experienced was a dream. Yeah, we all know that. You wake up in the morning and sometimes it's, like, thank God that was a dream. Yeah, it could be the opposite too. Damn, wish I hadn't woken up from that dream. That was awesome. Yeah, sometimes. So now we're awake. Yeah. What's the first thing you see when you open your eyes?
The room, bedroom.
Have another look.
Space.
Yeah. That's the first thing. Is it acknowledged?
No.
So at the point of the eyes opening, yeah, and then the mind seeing an object in the room and identifying what that object is, as soon as that occurs, the waking dream starts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is the mechanics of what happens, yeah? Because it's when the mind attaches to a perceived object in the room, as soon as that happens, duality is started. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The story will go, it's me, oh, damn, sun's coming in through the curtains. Yeah? Boom. At that point, the waking dream has started. So effectively, we wake up in the morning, bang, first thing we see is space. It's not acknowledged by the mind because it's a no thing, space. Yeah? Attaches onto a thing in the room and boom, we become unconscious again. Believing we're conscious, but in that becoming unconscious again, yeah, then the waking dream kicks in. The me dream kicks in. One, you know, that me character that kicks in and believes it's alive, it's running the show, it's seeing, it's doing, and it's experiencing, and so on and so forth. You know that character? Now, what's the difference between that character that arises in the daydream and the character that arises in the sleeping dream?
It's the same, and I've seen it, and it's the same.
And both characters in that dream state believe they're real. and they're having an experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm trying to point out here is, what's the mechanism that occurs for either dream to kick in?
You have to go slightly unconscious, not unconscious, but slightly. Yeah.
How aware are we? We've all experienced it. Yeah. When we're super caught up, like super caught up in the mind. You know, that state that we can get into sometimes where you're kind of driving along in the car and you're not even aware of driving. And all of a sudden you sort of become conscious for a moment and wonder how you got there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Most people have experienced that to some degree. Yeah. How conscious are we of being conscious when we're caught up in the meing and the, got to do this and all this? She said, I said, they did. Whatever, right? Whatever it is that's going. Whilst we're in that, how conscious are we?
We're not. Completely in the dream, as if like you're sleeping.
That's the mechanism. And you can all experience that. You can know that for yourself. You can know it. If you don't already, from me just having verbalized this from your own experience. Yeah. You guys have heard me talk about the carpenter that's up on the roof, you know, and he's hammering away on the roof. And you know, this is a guy that's been a carpenter for 30 years. He really knows his stuff. You know, he can kind of just running on automatic, hammering away, completely lost in his mind. His wife last night just told him that she's been having an affair with a neighbor. And I've got 3 kids between them, all under the age of 8, little kids. Yeah. And his wife just said, well, you know, I've been seeing the neighbor. He's on the roof and he's, you can imagine what would be going on for somebody hearing that news. He's hammering away. And all of a sudden he goes bang with the hammer and hits his thumb. Splatters his thumb. I mean, he's so angry. He's hammering these nails in. What happens when he smashes his thumb? What happens? Where does he find himself now? What do you think would happen to the storying that was going on? What would happen to it?
Completely cut off.
It would stop.
Yeah.
Probably only for a moment. But in the immediacy of the pain, which would bring you smack bang into the moment, would it not? Yeah, you would. You would immediately become fully conscious again, fully here. Holy shit, his thumb is just smashed. And a few seconds later, mind being the mind as it is, it'll arc up again. And now the story will be added to, damn, look what you made me do, you bitch. And it'll be off again. You've got, you know, added story and a sore thumb and how am I going to work? And the old story starts up all over again. How many of us are fully conscious throughout the course of the day? Fully. Only experiencing now. And never move from now. How many of us are having that experience? Just always now. And by the way, when is it not now? When? When is it not now? How many of us are living here now? Constantly. How many? And if we acknowledge, oh yeah, well, I'm kind of, sometimes I'm here now. Sometimes I have, you know, I don't know, I seem to be really present for an hour or two. And okay. And when we're not present and when we're not in the here now, where are we?
Head.
Here now.
Here now.
But still here now. So the mechanism there is, rather focus on what's going on in the head than here. If there was a chooser, there's not. Does the living, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling occur in the daydream?
So does that occur in the, oh.
Does it occur in the daydream?
Yeah, all like hearing, tasting, touching, smelling.
Yeah, does it occur? Can it be experienced in the dream? Seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling.
Experience right here, right now, but not in the mind camp.
That's what I'm talking about. In the mind, which is where the daydream occurs.
Yeah, okay. No.
In there, do we experience seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling?
No.
And then the me character in that daydream, the personal me, the one that's on this dualistic path and wants to wake up, is trying to find a way to arrive here. The dream character is trying to find a way to arrive here. You know, here, which is already a direct experience. Here. The dream character. Trying to find this. You know, this that you're experiencing right now. This. You gotta laugh. It's we sit in these groups and you guys have heard me say I'll be midway through communicating with somebody and all of a sudden I'll just stop and I'll say, are you conscious right now? And the person, note, the person, the dream character says, yes. I go, are you aware right now? And the dream character says, yep. Are you alive, being? And the dream character says, yep. And I'll say, that's it. And the dream character goes, oh, is this it? Where are the fireworks? This can't be it, says the dreamed character. You know, that dreamed character that can't experience seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. To be able to experience those things, you need to be fully conscious. The dream character can never be fully conscious. It's a dream. It's not real. I'm just one day, you know, I'm hoping I'll ask somebody that question, are you conscious right now? As soon as the person goes, yeah, I go, oh God, you're not. You're not. The correct answer to that question, are you conscious right now, would be, what a ridiculous question. What else could I be but conscious? What do you mean, am I conscious right now? Everyone thinks that the correct answer is to say, yes, yes, I'm conscious. So the immediacy of now is consciousness. Now, and the now is not lineal. So nothing to do with a past or a future, and somehow it's in the middle of these 2 points, a past and a future. Mind will interpret the now as that, an increment, little measurement. The now is a little measurement. When does one now start and finish, and another now start and finish, and another now start and finish? Have a look. See if it's incremental. Have a look. You're experiencing the now right now. Is that how it goes? How many times have we heard you are consciousness, or you are awareness itself? How many times have we heard that? Other teachers have been saying it. Been said for thousands of years. That you are is conscious awareness, that non-dual. It's not dualistic. Try and squeeze time into now. Time just collapses. In the immediacy of now, it collapses. Can't squeeze time into now. Why? Because it's always now. And what do we notice instead? This pseudo human being, this pseudo person. What do we notice? What's going on in mind? That's what we notice. Where all our relationships occur. In relationship with your car, or you're in a relationship with a person, your mum or your dad, or your wife, or your girlfriend, boyfriend. In relationship with your body, me and my body, 3 just then. Me and my body. In relationship with that. Where's all those seeming relationships? Where are they? Particularly when you happen to be sitting here by yourself. No one's around. No one's here. You're just in a room by yourself. Now, where are the relationships? Oh, yeah, they're still. Where are they? Where are they occurring? Oh, she said, and oh, they did. Oh, I feel bad. Whatever. Where are the relationships occurring? You're sitting in a room by yourself. And you could be having an awful time being in relationship with what you think of your partner, let's say. Partner's not even in the room. Not even here. In the immediacy of now, where's relationship? In your direct experience. Now, where's relationship?
Doesn't exist.
What happens in the actual direct experiencing, in the immediacy of now? Mind stops. Duality can't function in the immediacy of now. Just like time ceases.
Can I ask something?
Geraldine,
You were finished?
go for
Sorry.
it. Go for it.
About what you were giving this example, thinking about your partner. The issue isn't really that you're thinking about your partner. It's that what you think you're thinking about your partner, what you think you're thinking isn't yours. I mean,
Correct.
you believe you're thinking it, but and the whole thing is like that.
Correct. And it's just, that's exactly right. And it's becoming aware of that. It's got nothing to do with the person. Even what I was just saying in relation to, seeming relationships and so on, all of that is still just happening. It has nothing to do with you.
There is never ever any risk in life or anything because this is all happening.
That's right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And even if I say what we have to see is that okay, now I'm lost.
The key is in what I originally started talking about at the beginning of this session. The key's there. I tried to show what are the mechanics that are actually occurring. And then it's and it'll happen when it happens. But the reality is, okay, then it's all right. Where do I want to place the attention? Here?
Even that would be false. Where is it that I want to place my attention?
Yes. Yep.
That isn't us. It's not ours to say.
No.
I mean, we can only observe. I mean,
Yep. Yet there is observing. Yet there is undeniably observing.
But everything's fallacious.
Yep. Yep. Does consciousness have anything to say about anything in the immediacy of now?
What's consciousness?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to get you to come to. You're conscious right now.
What I just said, yeah, I don't know. Even that question's fallacious.
Yep. Good.
I mean, so
Good. Now what?
like
Yeah.
I'm answering you to you.
Yeah.
And
I'm
this
agreeing
whole
with you.
thing,
And I'm agreeing. And,
yeah,
and
and this whole thing,
it's just happening.
yeah.
Now see that. And you might ask, well, who's going to see it?
How was that?
Doesn't have to be a who. We can't deny they're seeing. Doesn't have to be a who.
It can be seen for half a second or less than half a second, and then it goes into
Yeah.
its loop. That's
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just like, consciousness at this point, and every now and then it goes boom, boom. And at that point, oh, boom. Oh, what was that? In this state, we'll say, the character. What was that? Sometimes it goes, oh, you're just immaculately present. But we need to be careful there. It's not the me that's present in that presence. It's not the me character. In the absolute presence, in the immediacy of now, the me character stops altogether, like gone. Why? Because you're fully conscious. The daydreaming or the sleeping dream, to ignite, consciousness has to go into abeyance. It must. That's the mechanism. Now, see for yourself and see if that's true.
Has to go into what?
Abeyance. It subsides.
Okay.
And does the me have any control over consciousness?
But the mind is consciousness. There's nothing else.
The mind appears. The mind appears in consciousness, like the dream.
If it's all non-dual, not two, there can't be a mind and consciousness, or a mind appearing in consciousness.
Good.
This is all.
Good. Now come to experience that instead of thinking about it conceptually. You're right. You're absolutely right. Can't fault anything of what you just said. Can't fault it. Now, come home. Come home. Where would home be? Where would that be?
But who are you talking to?
Yeah. Good. That's right. Yep, that's right too. Now what? Yep, now what? I'm agreeing. Yep, that's right.
That is love.
Not talking to any person, that's for sure.
This is all very funny in the end.
It is. Like it is. It is.
And we can really do anything.
Pardon?
We can really do anything.
we can really do anything or we can't really do anything?
Everything that's going to be done, yeah, we can, positive, is what was meant to be done.
Yep. 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 Like, have you got any idea what's going to come out of your mouth next? Really?
No.
And I could have asked somebody else that exact same question and they might have said, yes.
What impresses me too is I repeat it in my mind each time, but this is all happening without me personally having created it.
Yeah, correct.
All
Correct.
that.
Correct. In the absolute seeing of that, the personal doer dissolves. You know, the me that believes it's been in control our whole life, and you know, trying to control everything, and even that me that arises that believes it needs to be in control, and so on, that too is just arising, and it's just happening. It's got nothing to do with you. Oh, and the mind might go, you? What do you mean you? Who are you talking to? Who was that addressed to? You conscious right now?
Me?
Yep.
What I'm lost with the meaning of that sentence now, of that question.
Okay. Are you awake right now?
To me, it's the same question.
Okay. Are you breathing right now? Seeing?
Mm-hmm.
Hearing?
Mm-hmm.
That's the direct experience. But you know what happens? Me attributes itself to be the hearer, the seer. Mind superimposes all of these beliefs and ideas over seeing. Whereas in actual fact, in the immediacy of now, all there is seeing. Does it need a seer? It's seeing.
Even thinking that may be going on now as we're talking, it doesn't need anybody. And
Yeah.
with a little hindsight each time is like realizing that this is also happening.
Yeah. Like if you do this, now choose not to see. Choose not to see. Is seeing just happening?
Everything.
Good, right? So the seeing, the hearing, the tasting, the touching.
The me feeling.
So we've got those five senses. They're all just happening, are they not? Yeah. So is the sixth. The sixth. That's just happening also, is it not?
Yeah.
It's just happening. Now, are you aware that seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling is just happening?
Yeah, sort of.
Well, in the immediacy of now, like right here, right now, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling is just happening. Try and turn them off. Try and have some sort of will over
There's
here.
no authorship. There's no authorship for it.
Yeah. It's just happening, yeah. The seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, yeah. That's just happening. Now, we struggle with the next one, yeah. So too is mind. And the me arises in mind. Without a single solitary thought, that's that amnesia pointer that I use, yeah. The me disappears. This personal me that believes it's had a life and it's experienced this and it's experienced that in the life and so on. You create amnesia in the person, that all disappears. The whole identity disappears. Yeah. Then we reignite memory again, and that seeming me rushes back in and goes, oh, I'm here. Really? What comes back? If we reverse amnesia, what comes back?
Me thoughts.
Only. Only. And then those all those me thoughts, and they're just thoughts we take to be myself.
Yeah, and even then, those me thoughts have no authorship, paradoxically.
Correct. They're just happening also, like the seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling.
Yeah, that's clear.
It's like it's crystal clear, really, isn't it? It's absurdly clear. Yeah.
Crystal clear to me. I'll let somebody else.
It's all right. Thank you. There's one little hurdle that we need to get over there. Yeah. Because even though we can be aware, we can acknowledge, yep, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling is happening. Thinking is happening. All the meing is happening. Yeah. The only little hurdle we've got to get over now is a belief that it's me that's aware of the seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, and the meing thoughts and the thoughts and so on.
Actually, we should substitute this me thought by the God thought, like I'm God, like sort of gonna play or thinking, actually,
Yeah.
this is God doing that.
Yep, we could. The absolute, awareness, consciousness, there's lots of different words.
Whatever.
Yeah, lots of different words. But if I like using consciousness because you are conscious of or aware of, and to be aware, you've got to be fully conscious or fully present or alive.
But that's dual again.
What is consciousness? Conscious of is, yes. Conscious of. But we've got to arrive in a place where we're finally conscious of seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, and thinking is just happening. It loses, especially more so with the mind, because it loses its power. The dream is seen as a dream. We're no longer like living in it because we're now conscious of it. Whereas before, prior to becoming conscious of it, we were wearing it. Oh.
But conscious of it presupposes there is something that's conscious of something.
Correct.
Why wouldn't it be? I mean, there's no difference between seeing and seer. It's one and the same thing.
Correct.
I cannot tell you where
Good.
You know,
Good.
I mean,
Good.
so,
Good. Good. So
so
it's
conscious of it,
so
it's misleading.
so it's part of the way.
Okay.
It's just part of the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's you're right. You're actually correct. You're right. It is. Now, sort of, at least at that point, we're finally in a position that we can acknowledge that we're conscious of the mind. We're not in it, living in it. We're aware of it functioning. And it's just doing its own thing. And yeah. Then at some point, there's a loss of interest in mind altogether. And it's not a person that loses interest in it. Yeah. There's just a loss of interest in mind. And now this is conceptual, but consciousness then, instead of being conscious of, turns and is now only fully interested in consciousness itself. And right there is the bit we miss. What's this? What's this? Even in that question, when it's genuinely asked, when that curiosity is full on and it's there, we go, what's this? The first thing you'll notice after that question is nothing. No other question will arise. Just and that consciousness, if you like, yeah, is here now in the immediacy of now. 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 Now, 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 now. 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 If you weren't conscious, there'd be no thinking. There'd be no seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. Like when you fall asleep. When we fall asleep, yeah, the seeming daytime person that believes it's got a life and it's doing this and so on, and it believes it's the seer and the hearer and the taster and the toucher and the smeller. But you hit on the pillow, consciousness subsides, that all disappears. Gone. 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 Where does it go? Where does it go? Like really? Just goes. Why? Unconscious. Where does mind stop? In the immediacy of now. Fully conscious, fully awake. Right here, right now. And it's always now. And here is where you find yourself. Your true nature. You kind of, holy shit. You can't wake up and you realize it's like you wake up from having dreamt your whole life. Everything that you think happened was a dream. Nothing actually happened. Nothing happened. All that happening, all that seeming happening, all happened in mind. As thoughts, ideas, concepts, beliefs, images, assumptions, all gets created in mind. A dream. And the irony is, we get on this non-dual path and we go looking for this. We go looking for this. This is what we go looking for. What the, how we miss this is incredible. It could only be a dream character that would miss this. It would only be someone that was asleep that would miss this. How can you miss this? How do we miss this? Let go. Or see, or see what's going, see what's actually happening. $1 for every time you've heard me say that, Malcolm. What's actually happening? What's actually happening? Actually, what's the truth of what's actually happening? So I took you guys through that little talk at the beginning about the sleeping dream and the waking dream and consciousness and blah, blah, the mechanics. See if that's true. And the seeing of even that, that's part of the waking process. Part of it. Like being conscious of is part of the waking process. Oh, God.
Thank you.
Not a single thing could I correct in relation to what came out of your mouth, Geraldine. Not a single thing could I correct. So now all I would say is, okay, yep. Now go to the direct experience. Are you here right now? Is there seeing right now? Are you hearing right now? Can you hear the voice? You hearing right now? The direct experience. This. When is it not now? When? What can you compare now with? Seriously. If it's always now, what could you compare it to? You can't say a past now. A past now doesn't exist. Why? Because it's now. Constantly now. It's just now. What are you going to compare now with? And in your direct experience, your absolute direct experience of now, what happens to time? Experience that. You have the capacity to experience what it is I'm saying. You do. Where's time go? In the immediacy of now. It's always now. Tell me about your experience of time now. Now. How can time arise now? How? It's bloody hilarious. Totally imagined time.
Patty's funny. She's laughing.
What's that?
Patty's laughing.
Yeah. Okay. It's funny now. It's great. Laughing just spontaneously happens. It's like, it's just the joy of being. God, you know, we're alive, people. We're alive. Jesus, we wouldn't be dead for quids. Seriously, we wouldn't. We love being alive. Present. Here now. You know, now, where it's only ever now. Your direct experience. Now. 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 Anything else, and I mean this, yeah, anything else other than now is mind. Anything else. Tell me that's not true. Come back to the immediacy of now, yourself, now, and anything other than this is going to be mind going into a dialogue either about this or about yesterday, or it'll be wandering here, it'll be wandering over there, or anything other than this is going to be mind. Thoughts just, you know. And instead of noticing this, the attention goes to the thoughts. Oh, that's important. Yeah, I mustn't forget that. Oh, how am I going to do that? I've got to do that. Oh, she said, they said, blah, blah, blah. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. Notice this. Like, notice this. What duality can you find in the immediacy of now? Try and experience duality in the immediacy of now. It's non-dual. What's the name of this teaching? Every teacher you see, most, yeah, they're laughing like it's now. What's happening? Nothing. Nothing is happening. So the nothing is happening. Just happening. Beautifully so. Beautifully so. My God. What's your experience of duality presently? Okay. What is duality? Is there duality in the complete absence of mind? What would happen then? Would we then have a dualistic experience in the complete absence of mind? What's this experience? What's this? There's no duality here. There's no duality here. It's not. It's not here. I don't care what the mind is saying. It's not here. It's not a thing. It's not even a dimension. It's purely imagined. Why? The mind works dualistically. That's how it operates. That's how it operates. Boom, 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 boom. I love you, I hate you. Love you, I hate you. Oh, I kind of like you in the middle. You know what I mean? And then all the variables between those points. And the mind will just swing. It's the mind that's where the seeming duality is happening, but it's just arising as thoughts. Just thoughts. And the thoughts are going, oh, duality's real. Of course, there's me here and you there. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. And the poor thing doesn't know it's not true. It can't know the truth. It can't know non-dual. Its very nature is to be dual. It's its nature. It can't experience it. And the non-dual is experienced in the absence of mind. So the mind can never experience it. It's like the dream character in the dream when we're asleep at night, running to this satsang and that satsang and this teacher and that teacher. Why? The dream character in the sleeping dream wants to experience what it's like to wake up in the morning. That's what's happening. Even in the daydream character, this person that we take ourselves to be in this life, it's running to teachers and watching stuff online and reading books, and because the dream character wants to wake up. It can't. It's in the absence of the dream character that the waking occurs. We were wondering what is non-duality? It's like it's kind of it's an interesting concept. One without a second. What would that be? And you just watch the mind trying to figure that out. You watch it trying to figure one without a second. Just one without a second. I would encourage, right? Instead of trying to work out what non-duality is, Jesus, see clearly what duality is and where that happens. Is that real? What is that? What is duality? That gets left behind, and we just go looking for non-duality. And that's looking for non-duality is duality, is the mind. People, people arrive here and their poor old little dreamed up character arrives here, or their me arrives here. Oh, I've been on this path for 10, 20, 30 years and I don't know what I'm not seeing. Jesus. What do you reckon they're not seeing? Really? Oh, shit. Oh, I know there's no me, and I understand I don't have any free will. There's something I'm not seeing. I'm stuck. It's bloody hilarious. Tragically hilarious. Oh. Is duality real? What's that process? What's that dualistic process? How does that seem to come into the picture? What is that? That dualistic process. Do the eyes or the seeing, does the seeing experience duality? The hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, do those five senses experience duality? You have a look. Like, have a look. None of them discriminate. None of the five senses discriminate. I've never once heard my seeing say, hey, Terry, come and have a look at this. And we all listen to that mind. Listening to the mind. That's where the duality arises, in the sixth sense. And that sixth sense is needed. It's needed. You happen to stumble upon this, you know, and there's this kind of waking process that you're going through. On awakening, all the meing just stops. That's all. This dreamed up me stops. You know how much of, you know, how much time throughout the course of your day, at least I hope you know, throughout the course of the day, the thinking is taken up with me. Hope you know. Hope you've seen that. Like, it's a full-time job in there. Me, I got to do this. Oh, what time's, oh, I got to, it's, imagine all that just stops. You'd have to imagine, like, just stops. Where would you find yourself? How obvious would the present moment become? How obvious would it, like, here, just stop. Gee. And the irony is, you're all here now. You're already here now, already. And me stumbles into here and, you know, trying to work out how to wake up or how to improve myself or how to gain more knowledge or it's mind. It's just mind doing that. See that. Just see that. Hang on, Mike. Michael, hang on. Have to unmute, Mike. I can't hear you. Michael, unmute. There you go.
Hello, I'd like to read a poem.
Oh, we love your poems.
Where does it come from? This gift of a morning, overflowing with light sparkling everywhere, and a few white clouds drifting leisurely, intentionless and free, with nowhere I have to be. The trees leaping out of the earth like dancers, the leaves floating islands of green in a sea of quietude, and the purple hills galloping away into the snow mountains beyond time, freedom, and fate, into an infinity of beauty, and the long, lonely shadows of the evening closing like the eyes of a dreamer into a night as deep as a mine. Underneath the skin of our separation, a wilderness of archetypes, dark shadows etched in silver rivers of dream, the whole of creation, a moth circling nearer and nearer, day and night beating like the fluttering wings of our loving. On the altar of being, the flame of awareness burning, the light beyond the stars is in your heart.
Beautiful, Michael. Thank you. Oh.